Hey everybody, this is a grumpy old guy gaming here. Happy Halloween! Not gonna lie, totally caught off guard today. Was not expecting to do a fragment video. Was planning on doing a Diablo 3 live stream tonight. Still on for that, so probably looking about 9 o'clock, maybe a little after for that. So in a couple hours here, a little over 2 hours from now. But I got a message from Spooky, or Spooky the Ghost, on the Fragment Resurgence Discord with a screen cap of his custom Halloween area. I saw him make mention of it last night, but I was very much turning in for the evening, big day at work today, and sent him a quick message to see if he would mind if I ran it here for a quick holiday capture. Because I really wanted to show you one of the more magical things I think there is about this game and why I feel it's such an awesome gaming experience. These custom dungeons that people could do. A lot of times I host the dungeon that Slishtroll had built, Storytime Dungeons, and the custom boards there are phenomenal. So when Spooky messaged me about this one, I literally dove at the chance to run this, and this is a little holiday treat for everybody, a little bonus Halloween upload. So you saw there, Obsidian, Howling, Underworld. Those are our keywords. It's a level 4 fire field. Yep, Obsidian, Howling, Underworld. Just double checking here. Got a bit of a text, right here at the beginning. When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. A little bit of a chilling entrance to come to the field on. I'm going to be trying to pause here as often as I can for these blocks of text that are going to pop up when they do. You're able to input messages that'll display when people reach fields or certain rooms in dungeons. Love this too, just this pattern of portals right below us. I'm level 17 at the moment, so nowhere near worried. Here we open up a portal and it's 4 chicken heads. Little bit of a hassle to track down. Overall, I'm not going to be doing too much commentary on the gameplay itself. At no point am I super worried about any of these monsters taking me out, and I'm just going to be using, your typical logic when playing a game. I'm not just going to run through all of these for one massive battle, although that might be a fun video to do somewhere down the line too, just open every portal on the field and see if I could fight through it. Got a defensive buff up and a speed charm. But we're going to go ahead and check out everything we can. We're going to 100% this because I kind of want to show off all the work he did. I thought it was really cool of him to send the message. Again, thank you so much. And I really wanted to get this upload in for Halloween. I'm just going to tell you now without going into any spoilers. Flat out blown away by the amount of work and effort put into this dungeon. And I'm not just saying that for the sake of saying that. I mean, legit enjoyed every second I ran this. And it's not just for doing giant damage numbers. Now, I'm not gonna lie, doing 1,000 damage on a single strike, just with a physical attack, that's pretty badass. Especially only being level 17, that's something you're not gonna do every day. Unless you're like data draining monsters just for the sake of doing it. Here they're just low enough level and discrepancy. Cast a spell because I really don't feel like tracking that guy down, and I really don't want to get too close to that trapped chest. Pick up some safety shoes there. Another nice thing about these lower level dungeons that you don't think about. You're not going to be chucking potions all over the place. You're not going to be using a ton of consumables. So usually the gear you pick up, especially if you solo, more than enough gold and resale value to finance a good couple runs. So if you find yourself maybe a little down in the gold, maybe you need to restock on some items, you know, just take a couple minutes, run a lower level board, get your kills in, and hey, feel like a total world conqueror while you're at it. Just did 2,000 damage on an attack. That's gonna turn any day right around. Got some chicken hands and some magical goblins. Nice little nostalgia trip too. You could just sit there and say, remember when these guys like poisoned me within an inch of my life? Got a few more portals here before we go to the dungeon. Hopefully you're all doing well, enjoying this most unusual Halloween day. 2020 has not been the kindest year to anyone, but there's still some good to be had out there in the world, and taking a little time to appreciate the things around you and just enjoy this spooky holiday is all we could really do. I know I'm having a blast. We've been celebrating it here on the channel all month, doing retro videos, doing fragment videos, even doing some live streams just to sort of get ourselves in the spirit of the season. Here we are, the last portal. We got some more chicken hands to get through before we head on our way. Take them down in short order. And another trapped chest. I know what you're thinking. I'm going to be burning a lot of these fortune wires, but no matter what gear you're pulling, it's going to sell for more than 10 gold. Hit Nap Corv off of the portal there, so we've got an attack boost as well. Physical attack. Again, just motoring our way to the dungeon. This is actually about the time on the playthrough that my wife and son got back. They were over visiting some family down the street, so they had just got back and heard all sort of footsteps running around as I'm entering the dungeon here. Speaking of, sorry about that little glitch there. I was sort of not even sure what I was doing there. I may have just double hit the play button to make sure I was recording. So it says, what would drive you to enter this hellish place? Turn back now or you will be forced to suffer your own fate. Certainly an ominous start to this. I mean, my goodness, we've got 2 messages and neither one of them are going to be found inside a Hallmark card, you know? Let's go ahead and get our buffs back up. The speed charm of the defense boost wore out just as we entered. Great timing there. Hit a fairy's orb and almost felt like the game was locking up, and usually that's a sign of some pretty large rooms. Grab these 2 symbols here, pop the speed charm, and yeah, we're about as buffed up as you get. Go into the next room here, and okay, first off, that was cool. I don't know if you noticed it in the map earlier, but if you looked, right where the room split in that V shape, there were 2 portals side by side. So it says, watch out! As you enter the room, you are ambushed by several enemies. It's an intentional ambush right out of the gate. Dungeon ain't fooling around. It isn't playing with you. Level 4, but it means business. So we've got some chicken hands and some magical goblins. Fortunately, it seems like the goblins were more preoccupied in boosting themselves than, you know, casting any sort of poison spell or anything. So we get out of that one relatively safe, pick up the spoils of the battle, and just loot the rest of the room. Just gonna go down this side and see what's down this way. Maybe once we hit a dead end or something, I'll turn back. Here's an L-shaped room, and it says, you feel a chill down your spine as you enter the room. Strange, as the heat is almost unbearable. So we're in a very hot room in a fire field, but we feel a chill as well. Okay. Check out this portal here. 4 magical goblins up and 4 magical goblins down. Get a trap chest for the little parlor trick we pulled on them, and some safety shoes out of the chest. Come down here. Yet another really cool thing about custom fields and dungeons when you set them, you could just put trap chests in the middle of a room. Kind of a neat thing. You notice, the curse can't be broken is written several times in goblin runes throughout this room. So, things we've gathered so far. It's hot all around. Something's giving us a chill. Everything living or at least animated around here is incredibly hostile to us. And there are some goblins that were in the area, or at least something that writes in goblin runes, talking about an unbreakable curse. All this, and we're on floor 1. Can't wait to see what comes next. Coming down on a portal here. Stop to open treasure chest, and I'm not gonna lie, that would have probably been a really silly move on a higher level dungeon. That was really dumb of me to go just far enough to trigger the portal and then grab a chest. But we do get our way through. Grab another trapped chest, and inside this one are some rusted hands. Here we find a little corpse warrior guy, and think it's time to take a break, check things out, maybe a little selfie cam action. This poor guy's probably been sitting here who knows how long. Let's take a quick pic. There we go. Happy Halloween to the corpse warrior. And that's probably going to be my thumbnail for the video. Not gonna lie, I thought it was a cool pic. Especially with the golden egg dancing in the background there. Now, I was thinking of progressing onward, but I wanted to double back and see what was in here. And the text reads, "A ghost lets you know it's okay to take all of the treasure in this room, but only if that's what you want to do." Really, really considerate ghost here. Got to appreciate that, especially with some of the treatment we've been getting previously in the dungeon. Think I'll take the ghost up on its offer. Pick up the devil out of that chest and the fire tempest out of its opposite. Heading into the following room. Says random marks. Random marks of ash are scribbled on the walls of this room. Upon inspection, you notice depictions of macabre acts. So we've upped the horror factor a little here. We've got some pretty dark things being pictured on the walls here and written in ash, which you can only assume is the byproduct of said macabre acts. As for the room itself, I really like these bigger sort of unique shaped rooms. You've got these little side entrances towards the front half of the room that you can maybe duck in, perhaps isolate a monster in a tight battle. But they could also be choke points where if you're not careful, monsters can get around both sides of you. Leads to a little bit of strategic gameplay, and as you can see, more than enough room in here for 2 portals, so we've got a pair of battles coming our way here. Yeah, that was a couple of 4,000 damage attacks. I'm not gonna lie, that's always a good feeling to hit for that. Went to go for an antidote, accidentally hit the shortcut for restorative first, so we got the old laser light show, first the blue aura, then the green. Pick up some sandals out of the chest. See, those little side passages are kinda neat to run through. come to our second battle here and just take it out in one fell swoop. Use a skill just to be done with the combat and collect the rewards. Get a Meteor Swarm and a Fire Tempest. But like I was saying, these narrow passages, they kind of remind me of some of the homes around here where I live. They're very close together, but there's some little walkways, some little alleyways you can kind of squeeze through. Gonna make our way back down this hallway and see what's coming up next. Got the other side of this V-shaped room. Eventually I'd like to see what's on the other side there, but for now just enjoying the ride and seeing where this is going. Pick up a health drink and we're going into a large L-shaped room. It says, various broken bones are littered about this hallway. Some of them are charred and burnt. So we've got even more horrific fire-based antics going on here. No need to delay any further, let's just run down and check out the portal. Once again, some magical goblins and chicken hands. Get the feeling there's a lot of fire magic in this place's history. Here we're trying to outduel a magical goblin with spellcasting, and it just sort of sidesteps our little lightning spell. Teaches us right, and then we show it why we're a long arm and not a wave master. Come to this intersection room, and it says, loud piercing screams echo across the hallways of this room. Their source is an unknown mystery. Well, I'm not one for leaving mysteries unknown. What say we check it out and figure out what's going on here? At this point, my buffs are starting to wear off. Hadn't really noticed it till I moved there and decidedly slower since the speed boost is gone. So my goal is just to finish up here and then loot, get that poison off of me, and get the speed boost back up. Cast my defense buff first. One thing's for sure, a lot of real estate covered on this first floor, a lot of large rooms. Got another one of these double portal rooms up here and it seems to be a dead end, so let's check that out. It says, is that music? You can hear music, but you're positive it's not in this room. Some sort of weird song is in your head. Okay, so we were hot, and then we were hot and cold at the same time, and we were ambushed, and we've been attacked by most everything except for one really super nice ghost. And now we're getting songs planted in our heads. A lot of creepy stuff here, and again, still floor 1. Take out the baddies. At least for portal number 1, was about to move on and the chest spawned, so we'll go ahead and loot that. Get the devil out of that chest. Another combat over in a flash. Got a couple different treasure chests to loot here. Sort of forget to pop the antidote there for a second. My apologies on that. Health got a little under 300. Again, I'm not terribly worried, but just for the sake of appearances, just go ahead and pop a rep real quick, get back up to full. Check out this little side passage, pick up another Fire Tempest, and back down we go. Really nice thing, and I gotta thank Spooky for this right away. Made this first floor symmetrical. Large floor like this, that's huge. Not having to backtrack all that way. It says a high-pitched voice squeak. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta back that up real quick. A high-pitched voice squeals. There are eyes in the cracks of these walls. They're watching you squirm. My apologies on the shaky editing there. I'm doing this in one take because I'm really excited to get this out. Hopefully you guys will forgive me. Even better yet, hopefully if you haven't run this, go run this board. This is some awesome stuff here. Really put a ton of effort into this, and I think it turned out well. Got a burning oil, and it says you can't help but feel like you're being watched. Your eyes scan the room, but you can't explain the feeling. Oops, seems like we sort of hit those in backwards order there. That would have built some nice anticipation to the reveal in the previous room. But hey, you hit it in the order you hit it, and I guess it's just as creepy to know you're being watched, but not know where the eyes are. So this again, another V-shaped room, and you've got a monster portal right where it opens up to spread out in both directions. So very symmetrical setup. Just blown away by the number of these rooms that have the text and just the thought put into planning out all of this. Guys, like, if you enjoy designing like small adventures or one-shots in tabletop games, or if you know somebody who's always DMing those sort of things, this kind of program would be right up their alley. A ghost yells at you for entering this room. Get out of here! All of this treasure is mine! Hands off! Well, certainly the mirror opposite of the ghost we ran into on the other side. That other ghost was more than happy to let us take everything. Here I think we've just got to loot the stuff on principle. That'll teach him to be greedy and incorporeal. I'm sorry, him or her. Shouldn't assume. Pick up another health drink. Another pair of health drinks. That's not so bad. Into a double portal room, and this one says, upon walking into this room, there's a very large dried pool of blood on the floor directly in front of you. Well, let's hope we sidestepped that before the portal opened up, and let's try to keep the shoes clean during this combat. So many neat little instances here. Kinda wish I was better at video editing and things so I could maybe throw up still images of the depictions. But then if I tried doing that, I might literally be here all night, and I don't want this video to wait any longer than it has to. Took a little break to eat, but dinner was kind of important. And here I am sharing with you some of the Halloween awesomeness that literally surprised me today when I got home from work. Got a trapped chest here, successfully disarmed, and a used greaves added to the list. Chest in this side passage gives us yet another fire tempest. So we've checked out both of the extreme sides. We've still got a couple more doors to go, backtracking the way we were. And then, of course, the stairs down to the second floor. So if you're following the design of this floor, it almost seems like opposing ghosts were on opposite sides. Here we have a whole string of laughter. I'm gonna see if I could get them all in one shot. Ha 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 ha! Ha! It sounds like laughter. Had to double check there. Turns out I was one ha short. Sorry guys, just can't laugh like I used to. You know, the old pipes just don't have it in them anymore. Got a couple monsters there, took them down readily. Loot these chests that we passed up at the beginning. Just didn't really want to open the chest over top of the text block there. I was doing my best to read it all and sort of keep up with the story as I played through. Big thing about these rooms is the text isn't going to proc again if you re-enter the room, so you catch it there at the beginning or you don't. That's why I'm going out of my way to pause and read through everything here. That, and again, I can't say it enough, it's awesome to see the work people put into things like these custom boards. It's a little expression of themselves, a little gift they're giving back to the community. They're saying, hey, here's something I thought would be cool. Please run it, let me know what you thought. Or just run it and enjoy it. And I think that's absolutely amazing. This is a very community-oriented game, which is something weird to say about a game that caps you at 3 people in a server at one time. But it really does foster a spirit of community, like we're all fragment players. We all love doing this stuff. Come up on a couple trap chests here that are marking the end of the first floor. The next room is gonna have the stairs down. Kinda had that feeling when I saw the layout was symmetrical, that going down this way was gonna be the stairs because the other way was an obvious dead end. Was that a wave master running down the stairs at the end of the hallway? How can there be someone else here? So we see a wave master off in the distance, even though we're the only ones in this dungeon. We better go investigate that. Get down to the end here, the blue fog clears, and it's a corpse. So we get down there, and all there was a dead body. On to floor 2. Says you see the same wave master as before, but before you can say anything, she has already vanished into thin air. So it seems like we're being lured on by this mysterious, ghostly female wave master. Very, very spooky. Certainly less foreboding than some of the other things we've seen, like macabre depictions in ash and charred bones everywhere. But a little more unnerving, especially when you remember things like the song being planted into our heads and everything. Definitely gonna get your guard up a little more. Take out that corpse warrior. We come up on a symbol here. So we've got Apjuka back, a little wood element reinforcement. And before I forget, let's go ahead and Fairy's Orb here. Looks like we've got another double portal room coming right on the other side here. So best get the defenses in order. Says, why must you come here? Why must you punish yourself? Why have you come here? This message reads a little differently than a lot of the things we saw on the first floor there. This one's frantic and pleading. That's very disquieting. But we're not going to waste time questioning it at the moment. That's certainly a little unnerving, and we're going to do our best just to get out of here. Criticals for 5,000 and 6,000 damage will certainly help you get there. And back-to-back crits are just badass. I know you're saying they're low-level monsters, there's no reason to celebrate. Critical hit's a critical hit. Appreciate the nat 20, folks. Says, voices whisper all around in this room. So many voices speaking at once. They plead with you to turn back. So we've gone from some ominous warnings to ghosts with diametrically opposed personalities to some frantic, panicked questioning, and now all of a sudden we're getting bombarded with these whispers to turn back. It's very much a sensory overload at this point in the dungeon. Almost like whatever's here is trying to use any deterrent, physical, mental, psychological, or emotional, to just get us to leave. Very, very creepy indeed. Let's see what the next room has for us. A wandering ghost tells you, I wish they told me I wasn't allowed to have any more candy before I got here. Okay, that's more on the funny side. I appreciate that little attempt at humor there. Oh, cute. Little dad jokey on that one. Love that. No more candy. Poor guy's dead. No more candy for a long time, I suppose. Maybe some ghostly goodies. Who knows? Get through there to another double portal room. This one says, no one will blame you for turning back now. Maybe you should use that Sprite Ocarina. Followed by more laughter. Ah ha 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 ha. Yeah. So we've been sort of overloaded, and whatever's sort of following us around here trying to get us to leave thinks that this may be a good time to plant in our heads. That'd be real easy just to turn around. Of course, we're not going to fall for that. Clearly, if they're trying this hard to get us out, there's something worth checking out here. So onward we press, even through all of the creepy and mysterious that's going on around. Get a mage's soul out of that chest here. Definitely worth pressing on if we're picking up mage's souls. I don't know. What are you thinking so far? I'm really digging this. I told you I was very positively... I had a huge positive impression on this. It says, flies bug around the corpses littering this room. So we've gone from pleading and frantic to whispering to just get out, it's okay to turn around, and now we've hit flat out gross. Corpses with flies just buzzing about them. That sort of hints that there's more to this than just bones. And we've got some rotting flesh going on there, I suppose. Here's an L-shaped room, and it says, a confident sounding ghost takes some of his time to tell you, I'm sorry, I gotta let this go. To tell you about how he feels about the term boo. How he feels. The term boo is very overrated. Yeah, it kind of is. Can we just blame Booberry for that one? Like, once you make it a cereal, it's just commercial, isn't it? Nobody's gonna be scared by Boo. Though it does lend itself nicely to that knock-knock joke. You know, knock-knock, boo, boo-hoo. Please don't cry. If you actually laughed at that joke, I won't tell anyone. Your secret's safe with me. It says, a skeleton falls from the ceiling. Before it hits the ground, it does a little dance for you. It's a pile of bones now. But it had rhythm. Little skeleton dance, that's awesome. Of course, you know the old cartoons with the dancing skeletons. Got that running through my mind now. Would have been a good time for them to plant that song in, not gonna lie. Feels weird watching skeletons dance for no reason. On to the next room here. Says, a horned man gives you a menacing look before he walks right through a wall and exits the room. So we've got right back to creepy. That moment of brevity is quickly lifted as something that's obviously demonic in stature makes it very apparent that they're none too happy to see us before leaving the room in a way we physically can't. And of course, if it can leave that way, it could also end. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this portal out of the road real quick and see what's coming up next. No use waiting around for the horned guy to return, right? Next room says, the end is extremely nigh, in our all caps and spaced font. I believe that's how you end up default chatting if you have to use the controller and not a keyboard. So the stairs down are in the next room, but I know I missed some stuff back here. And as much as it's not going to be in the best interest of time to go backtrack, I kind of feel like it would be a disservice to the board to not go back and check out everything we possibly could. That said, we're already 35 minutes in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Awesome board, awesome Halloween board put together by Spooky in the Azure Twilight server. The keywords, if you want to go check it out, are Obsidian, Howling, Underworld. Here, this room says a hallway gives off an odor that is nauseating at best. You have smelled rotting garbage. That was better. Once again, hinting at something decomposing within the room, maybe within the walls, maybe within these pillars, perhaps buried underneath the very carpet we tread. All we know is that 2 magical goblins come out of that portal, and we take care of them quickly, because this isn't exactly a place you want to stop and smell the anything. Disarm these 2 chests real quick, pick up a pair of sandals and some rusted hands. So that's 2 more pieces of equipment to our benefit, and move to the next room. Next room says the sound of a small child singing is continually heard. And then it goes through the alphabet song. A, B, C, D, E. I'm not going to sing the alphabet song. You got 5 letters out of me. You know how it goes. If not, cue up Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That and 1,000 other kids' songs are set to that melody. It's a classic. Another classic is having 2 portals worth of monsters attack you simultaneously, quickly becoming the MO here to just throw as much at you as it can, and it's certainly an awesome spectacle, even if it's one we're relatively sure we could squeeze out of easily. If you're not as high a level as I am, you may want to take pause and consider taking some party members. Soloing this could get perilous if these magical goblins are able to hit you quickly. Here's an ambush. These monsters were waiting for you to come through the door and sprung right into action. Look out. We've got 1 portal at the front of the room, 1 portal at the back of the room, and again, just heard you coming a mile away. We've certainly not been silent this entire time, and neither have the spirits that haunt this place, so it wouldn't surprise me if these monsters knew well in advance that we were coming. That's okay though, they don't have much on us, and we're gonna go ahead and finish them off. First one battle and then the other. Didn't even let battle mode go down after the first encounter, just zipped right along. Now we've got a couple chests, one fell from the combat and the other was already in the room. Gonna loot these before checking out that other room. Right now it's to our southwest as the map sits, assuming that up would be north. And this says an ambush. The monsters have been waiting for you on the other side of the door. Brace yourself. So again, another ambush room. Nice and simple, very direct. Here we get poisoned right from the get-go, so our hit points are slowly dwindling as we fight. And every time you miss one of these enemies, which is always possible given high evasion, it's just that much more danger, that many more hit points gone. Even though I know I'm in no real danger, just it ticking away is a little disquieting. Always remember the fact that it's that much closer, and a lucky critical by the monsters could put you in peril. Get through the other portal worth of monsters very easily though, and after looting all of the chests, we pop an antidote and make our way back. Nothing to do now but race through and head down to the 3rd floor. This was really an awesome surprise. I was absolutely stoked when I saw the screen cap of the area words and everything, and I wanted to ask for permission. It's something I really should do more with my runs, and I do apologize if anybody's ever been a little miffed or if I've ever spoiled anything with a run. That certainly hasn't been my intention. But I really wanted to make sure that this was something they didn't mind being spoiled, because custom boards do take a bit to set up, even simple ones, and honestly the area server does make it a breeze, but still there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of thought. Typing the text in is certainly a consideration. I've noticed it takes a lot of planning to get in. This room says, again, the same Wave Master from before stands in the center of the hallway. She passes through the floor. So this lady Wave Master seems to be only appearing right near the staircases. Again, the reason I'm pausing this, really awesome storytelling here, but the game really only gives you about 3 seconds to read this stuff before it comes off the screen. Pick up an App Vorv there, which is physical defense boost. It's the boost we're already casting, but we're not going to complain about a little extender. An App Torv, physical accuracy. Love to see that. Here we get a devilish voice loudly booms, "Nothing but suffering waits for you down here." So that pretty well sets the parameters of this floor. We can expect pain, 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 and pain, with perhaps some suffering, but mostly pain, right? I know it said nothing but suffering, but that's more of an interpretive thing. Moving into this V-shaped room, and yeah! So this was easily my favorite part of the whole dungeon, right here. The portals open up, and you have just 1,000 swordmanoids, it feels like. It's really only about a half dozen from what I could tell, and it looks like there's some magical goblins there too. But then the text pops up, and it's just 3 exclamation points, like, yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling looking at this. It's like, damn, they all came out of nowhere. Took out most of them in that skill. That was a nice little sweep there, and only had one to finish off. Go ahead, pick up some safety shoes. Know this video is a bit on the longer side, but this deserved a deeper look in, a real nice deep dive. And if you enjoy these deep dives, let me know. Feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Love to hear it. Says it's silent. Too silent. Especially with everything else going on. Like, we've had everything from whispers to murmurs to ghosts on just about every stop in the emotional spectrum. We've had comedy messages, we've had serious messages. Dead silence right now is the creepiest thing we could find. This one simply says, "Look out! No need to pause here." Also, no need to pause long before going to those other monsters. Take them out before they find us. Once again, not a smart idea of mine to try casting in a magical goblin. But we get through, we get poisoned, but it's nothing we can't fix with an antidote. Pick up a golden egg, and then a trapped chest materializes. So one fortune wire later, we are looking at some used greaves. That flowed pretty nice. Gonna make our way over to this double portal room. And it says, "If you stay here long enough, you will never be able to leave." So yeah, we've gone from eerie silence to yet another threat against us. At this point, the threats aren't the scariest thing, I would think, even from the perspective of somebody actually adventuring through here and not just from the perspective of somebody playing a game. Because we've been threatened till the cows come home at this point. Like, I'm really wondering what the deal with the Wave Master is, honestly. Is she trapped here? Was she somebody trying to figure out why all of these ghosts are trapped here? Why does she seem to be leading us further down? Speaking of further down, we'll move a little further south on the map here. You hear cries of pain echo throughout this room. They beg for the suffering to cease, but it never does. Oof, that's some dark stuff there. So, whoever or whatever was in this room was just tortured to a point where even them no longer being alive won't let them free. You don't need a fortune wire for these chests. They are special. I'll tell you this, anytime a disembodied voice tells me that a trapped chest is safe, I'm immediately on guard. No way I'm going to fall for that. I'm clearly going to use a fortune wire here because it's a trapped chest. And even if it wasn't, I'd try and use one on a normal chest just because the voice told me not to. But just to show you what would happen. Yeah, there you go. If you would have trusted the voice, you'd probably be dead now because they were very much booby-trapped. I triggered that one on purpose there. Whether you believe that or not is up to you. But I kind of wanted to see how it would go. I figured they would be trapped, but what the heck. The warnings have been ample, this screen says, yet you continue to venture deeper. At this point, I think the warnings are beckoning us deeper. Because we are adventuresome souls, and we are not going to stop out of fear. Bravely we carry on, and in one quick sweep, we fell our foes. Pick up the devil there, and it looks like there's a couple chests here on the base of this T-shaped room. I know it's upside down to be a T, but that's the letter I associate with the shape, and that's just how I'm calling it. Now, I don't want to cross over into that room there. I know, again, guys, I'm sorry about the backtracking, but this has been so cool so far. I don't want to run into the little hiccup we had in the first floor where I accidentally hit the rooms in the reverse order and sort of gave away the reveal before the build. So we're going to backtrack a little bit here and come back to this other intersection. Again, really cool that they laid out these rooms all sort of symmetrical. You can almost imagine this being floor after floor in a tower or under a castle. Once again, it's silent, too silent, so this is very symmetrical. I think we're even going to see the same messages on each side, which is a little bit of a switch from the first floor where the two sides were polar opposites. Again, we have a lookout in the square room and the two-portal ambush. So we're going to handle these guys, and looks like one of the back portal guys, the magical goblin, escaped, and just when we thought we were safe, it is there to start casting at us. So we're going to run the opposite way and get the drop on the other two here. Take them out. Go ahead to hit a fortune wire on this chest before leaving the poison. Relieving, sorry. Now continue over to the double portal room, which should mirror the other one from what I remember. A timid ghost asks you, have you seen the Wave Master here? Why won't they leave? A timid ghost. That puts me on pause a little bit. Like, again, putting myself in the mind of Grump O Guy as the character would be running through this. Maybe I've misjudged this? Like, we've dealt with ghosts of just about every personality here, so we know there's not much of a tying factor to them, save for the fact that they're ghosts. But this Wave Master keeps beckoning us further and further while everything else is doing everything in its power to push us out of this place. And now this ghost asks why the Wave Master won't just leave. Maybe she's behind it. What do you think? Where are you at on this little mystery that we've encountered on this All Hallows Eve 2020? Neat little Halloween surprise here. If you can't tell, I'm still super excited about this. Like, says, it's okay. You've sinned. I know that. You will pay for what you've done here. You thought you would get away? Ooh. Now that's good. Like, that is legit evil villain speech there. None of this get out or we'll kill you dead sort of deal. That right there, that is a threat you have to put some weight to. Centipedes crawl all over the floor in this room. The way their legs move cause your spine to shiver. Yeah. Like, just seeing a centipede scuttle across the ground is kinda weird because it's something you're not super used to. Unless you're really into insects, and if that's your thing, I'm not here to yuck your yum. But yuck your yum is a weird phrase there. I don't mean to imply you're eating bugs, and if you are, again, your secret's safe. But just the thought of masses of centipedes swarming over the floor and just seeing all the little legs go, yeah, that's pretty visceral there. That's causing a little bit of the old queasy to happen. Not so much that I'm afraid of losing anything important, but it says when the Azure Twilight turns scarlet. There it is. We have a reference to the server name, Azure Twighlight. Twilight references in general, of course, really awesome in .hack. And when the Azure Twilight turns scarlet, when the blue turns red. So I'm thinking this is a very bloody illusion here. Gotta get through this real quick. Magical goblin giving us a little bit of chase there, but we track it down and kill it. Grab a fire tempest. Acquire the death, but only in scroll form. And we burn our... That was our 30th fortune wire of this dungeon. That's awesome. In the symbol, you notice the face of the Wave Master from earlier. They look sullen with deep sadness in their eyes. So again, we're getting a lot of mixed signals here. Previously, I was all on board this Wave Master being trapped here for some reason, and that may very much be the case with the emotion we're reading here in this symbol. Or maybe that's just what we want to believe being etched in the stone there, us projecting onto it. Either way, we're definitely seeing sadness here. A lot of complex things going on as we venture our way down. It's really hot now. This floor has been the hottest of all of them yet. So we may be descending a touch deeper than just the basement floor 4. But we'll gladly take this app core from the symbol and press on. Gonna head down for a fairy's orb. Once again, got another one of these V-shaped rooms. Letting us know we've got a fair bit to explore here on floor number 4. First, you start with your fingers. Then the toes. Then your hands. Then your feet. So something really creepy going on there. Those swordmanoids clearly meant us harm. Good we got rid of them as quickly as we did. Picked up an antidote, which is good because we've certainly burned through a few of those, and a bearcat egg. Head to this little T-shaped room. We've got a pair of portals here and some text. It says, you don't know what sounds you are able to hear in this room, but they almost sound like fire. Like if fire could cackle. Okay. So we've got a bit of metaphysical projection here. We're imagining what it would sound like if fire could laugh, specifically an evil cackle. That's neat. I'm not gonna lie, that's a description I probably would have never come up with myself, and it's kind of awesome to hear out loud. If fire could cackle. Pick up some safety shoes and into the next room we go. They took my eyes. The darkness has surrounded me. What's left of me burns away in this wretched place. Wow. You kind of hope, for the sake of whoever uttered that those were their last words. Just end the suffering at that point. Just really dark stuff. Again, it's been alluded to since the first floor, but now you're getting some details, and it is every bit as bad as you could have imagined. Definitely gotta clear this room, just with the absolute most haste. Got a trapped chest there. Inside we find a steel cap. Safety shoes there. The altar's empty, so we're going to check out this little side passage, see if there's anything worth looting. And yeah, there's a bearcat egg. Working our way back out. And we're going to turn down and see what's below us in this little capital T-shaped room on its side. It says, huh? You swear you felt someone or something touch your shoulder, but it's nothing. So the old phantom poke. You feel a touch on your shoulder, and when you look, there's nothing there. Not even some guy giggling stupidly on the other side of you. You know you've tried that trick. Don't tell me you haven't tried that trick. Got some used greaves out of that chest there. Moving to the next room. It's a diagonal room, so we know there's no monster encounter, but we will feed you to the flames. They hunger for the wretched souls just like yours. That is loud and angry and troubling, all in one. Straight to the point, though. I will say the menace definitely picked back up here in floor 4. Until there's nothing left. They feed your bones to the flames and will all fade away into our own ashes. Huh. So maybe the spirits are looking for a release? Maybe they're looking at you as the sacrifice that may grant them eternal rest. That adds some definite stakes to this. Like before, maybe we were looking for a way to release them of our own volition, but you know what? We're not gonna kill ourselves to give them a chance at it. We kinda gotta stay living for our own sake, don't we? That makes this a bit of a moral quandary to boot. As you can see down there on the map, we've got one of those circular rooms that doesn't really have... Well, normally they're safe, but there's a couple portals down there. And beyond that appears to be our treasure room, and then there's a couple of those square rooms with inserts on either side. So we're winding down here, but before we do that, we're going to work our way back up the other side here and check this out. We'll feast upon your flesh, we'll drink upon your blood, we'll grind our fangs on your bones. So now it's not just killing us, there's a threat to make us into a meal, and definitely not too inclined to be anything's dinner within this game. So we're gonna go ahead, pick up some sandals out of that chest, very quickly loot this one, and pick up a mage's soul, and just get on our way. Because whatever's there definitely ain't worth sticking around to hang out with. In this place I dwell, my personal hell. I feel like these may be song lyrics, and if not, they need to be. Somebody with a guitar grab that. There's some safety shoes. And another mage's soul. So we're being rewarded rather richly. Remember, level 4 board and we're picking up mage's souls. Definitely worth the price of investment. This one just simply says, suffer my curse, suffer my curse, suffer my curse. And a lot of times the most disquieting thing you could find is genuine madness, repeating the same thing over and over again as though you have no control to ever stop. So suffer my curse over and over again. Definitely got the chilling vibes going on there as we enter this double portal room, and it says, "My flesh was burnt until I was charred. I was left a scorched husk of my former self, forced to forever be this way." Oof. A lot of dark imagery going on here in floor 4. Definitely saved the best for last in terms of the old creep factor here. If you haven't been disquieted by any of this whatsoever, then I credit you on being full of bravery, but perhaps lacking in imagination, because the mind can really wander with some of this stuff. This is some good stuff here. Again, I was blown away by all of this. I was mainly blown away that I had a message saying, "Hey, this is my Halloween board." That was awesome. If you haven't played this yet, I fully encourage you, Azure Twilight, get on there, grab some friends just to party up and experience it together. Obsidian, Howling, Underworld, level 4 Firefield. But just seeing the amount of detail and just the amount of text put into this, there's some real care put in here. Spooky. Yeah, did yourself. Coming into this circular room, I wasn't even thinking about the portals at this point. Is this it? Is it fate? Like, at this point, I'm thinking this is the room before the boss battle, and I completely ignore these 2 portals. It legitimately caught me off guard because of my own hubris as a player and sort of setting up the story in my own head in a way that was contrary to what was right in front of my eyes. Luckily for me, this is a level 4 field, and I didn't have much to worry about. Says, "You think you've bested us? Don't worry, the demons will always be watching you, even after you leave." So it seems like the spirits here, or whatever was here, has relented that we're going to make it out, but isn't going to let us leave without letting us know that they're still going to try and have the last laugh. Speaking of having the last laugh, who expected to see a virus core here? That is a virus crystal right there, and it's going to give us a virus core when we pluck it open. What a wonderful surprise there. Pick up a virus core D added to the key items. Incredible. That in itself worth the price of admission. If you don't pick up another item, at least that's there. You think you're leaving unscathed? We have marked you, adventurer. Our curse is yours to bear now as well. So yeah, this is the last portal of the dungeon, but they wanted us to know, all of these ghosts and spirits, that even though we beat them this time, they're gonna be with us forever. Even if we weren't cursed, I wouldn't imagine I would forget this experience in a hurry. But now we've apparently been marked, and perhaps we'll be pursued to the end of our days, as this tends to go. As for us, we've only got one thing left to pursue, and that's a treasure chest. Pick up some burning oil there. Into the last room we go, and it says, "A maniacal laughter fills the room. It echoes in the chamber off the statue. You've reached the end, but feel eerie." Guys, that was one hell of a run, wasn't it? Like, that was just flat out awesome. And here we get a little mod speak. Happy Halloween! Thanks for playing. Hope you had fun. I had fun. I had an absolute blast. Pick up a water wand, a speed charm, and a grunty doll out of the chest. Guys, that was an incredible dungeon. I can't tell you how thrilled I was to run it. I cannot stress enough, these custom areas, when you get the chance, savor them. They are magical, all of their own volition. Just the fact that somebody went out of their way to make something for us to run here in Fragment is incredible, and I definitely think the least I could do is give y'all a very in-game thank you. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. Happy Halloween. We'll catch you next time.